All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is our homebrew cipher system powered version of Legend of. I can't remember anything right now. My brain stopped working like 3 hours ago. We're playing a Zelda
Real.
game. The people below me are cool. And,
And we spent 20
yeah.
minutes talking about musical theater.
Yes,
They did
because
spend
that's-
20
Oh,
minutes
we're not
talking about
done
musical
yet.
theater.
So really, it was just a normal Realms episode. Let's be clear.
So, announcements. Switch 2 is still out, which is very cool.
It apparently sold like 3.5, 4 million units in the first 3 days. So it is the fastest and most successful launch of any home console to date.
Until Sony finds another like 4 million units that they accidentally sold in the first week of the PS2 existing.
Nah, I think at this point, they found all of that. I mean, look, the PS2 is still like the most successful video game consoles ever. And I like to point out,
It wasn't for a brief moment though, and then Sony found more units.
it's wild. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 still has like another 6 million units over the DS by like a wide margin. But just the Switch 2 has been out for under a week and it's already been 3.5 million. It's already more successful than like at least 15 other consoles.
Well, and I believe I've been getting reports that the stock issues that were plaguing the pre-sales are not as much of an issue now. Like most people that have been looking for consoles have been able to find them somewhere.
Maybe. I don't know. I know Best Buy's been still relatively sold out, but I think there have been other areas, depending on where you are, that have been
Yeah.
a little bit more successful in getting
Well,
it.
compare this to like the Wii, where it took like 3 years to get to the point where anyone ever had
Right.
any in stock. So that in and of itself is pretty cool.
I don't think I
on-
could fully comment on it. I got my stuff really early this time.
As far as the Zelda front is concerned, ZU is still putting out videos of the new notes that you can get in there. I believe they now have all of Zelda's notes out. They already had all of Rauru's notes out, and they're working with volunteers to get all of the notes kind of recorded and everything for anyone that doesn't have the ability to experience that, which is super cool.
I will say one of the best things about those two games now is that from what reviews have said, and I say this as from reviews because I haven't actually started my new files, they have HDR support fully, so they look prettier, and
Yeah,
they give you a second save slot, so now you can actually, not sacrifice your original save file. So that's fun. Thanks, Nintendo.
I've been hearing a lot of people talking about just how much smoother everything runs in the Switch 2. Like a buddy of mine actually talked about the fact, or maybe no, it was someone else. Anyway, someone I read on Twitter talked about the fact that you can now like browse the eShop without feeling like you're on a dial-up modem.
Correct.
So
The
that's
eShop is
an amazing
snappier.
thing.
Actually, the Switch 2 runs so much faster that the animation that they did for Tears of the Kingdom, where it would take you off the map and put you where you need to be or any of that, it now doesn't really work super well anymore. Because it goes so quickly in loading, you don't see it. It basically doesn't, that whole animation now is kind of pointless because it loads so quickly, which is really cool.
So,
I
yeah.
will say, if you are grabbing one, definitely make sure you get a micro SD card for it, because what I learned when I set mine up is that it will try to download literally everything in your library. So at some point, I went to look at my data management and looked, and all my storage on that 256 gig internal storage on the Switch 2 had basically been full, and I went, oh, it tried to download everything. That's crazy. So definitely grab yourself, if you have a lot of Switch games, definitely grab yourself a micro SD Express. Um,
Which are the only
the
ones that work, unfortunately.
it
But
is a newer spec. They are faster cards.
yeah, and a
Um,
lot more expensive.
they will get cheaper by force.
But anyway, so yeah, cool stuff going on there. In the world of tabletop RPGs, not a ton is really going on. Renegade, the people that currently publish the World of Darkness books
Vampire.
and also do the Essence 20 books that I have behind me, they announced a new G.I. Joe source book that's going to be coming out, I think, towards Q3, Q4. Can't remember which specifically. And then some new Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse stuff. There's also been some rumors that Mage the Ascension might be making a return, which I would absolutely adore that because I really, really like the nonsense trash fire that is Mage the Ascension.
I mean, if they're going to use V5 as an engine, which they should, V5 does. V5 is a good system. Why not?
I just, I think I've got Vampire the Masquerade 5th, Werewolf 5th, and Hunter 5th. And the only one that's really kind of intrigued me has been Hunter. Not that the other two aren't great systems, they're just not my thing. But I would
Valid.
really be down for a new Mage the Ascension. Because the original Mage the Ascension is nonsense. Like, it is such a weird book, and the system itself is kind of bizarre, and everything about that is weird, but I love it.
Fair. I really enjoy Vampire the Masquerade. I was a fan of LA by Night, a fan of New York by Night. The only issue is that Vampire. I don't know if Hunter or Werewolf have the same problem, but Vampires books. I have not looked at the player edition guide, but the full rule book is really weirdly written and
Well, I mean,
spends more time giving you more lore and not like telling you like the rules of the thing. Like D&D made their rule books make somewhat more sense. Vampire, the main core rule book, it's
to be
kind of rough.
fair, the fifth edition version of Vampire is significantly easier to read than any other version of Vampire. The problem with all World of Darkness books is they are novels that somebody accidentally spilled some
A
game rules
game,
on,
which
and
is
that's
fine.
always how
Two
they've done
different
it.
sections. Two different sections though. Keep them separate at the very least so people can get the rules and
So,
then go through the novel.
but anyway, so that's a thing. As Imp mentioned in Chit Chat, Darrington Press, the people that just put out Daggerheart, which is a phenomenally fun game that we actually played on this channel with Lex, and then two people from my Wednesday night games, including Imp. They've just announced that Daggerheart is going to be coming out in Spanish, French, Italian, Brazilian, Portuguese, and German.
Ooh.
So always nice to be seeing games translated into other little languages because it increases the player base, first of all. And something I found out really fascinating specifically about Portuguese is the vast majority of people that speak Portuguese live in Brazil, and the vast majority of Portuguese speakers in Brazil speak only Portuguese, which I thought was kind of like a U.S. thing where the majority of Americans tend to be monolingual, and yet everywhere else in the world, most countries, people are at least partially bilingual, if not speaking quite a few different languages, especially if you live somewhere like China or India, where they have like dozens of different languages that are spoken all over the country. So I did find it kind of fascinating that Brazilian Portuguese is the absolutely massive amount of people that speak Portuguese, because Brazil is a remarkably highly populated country, but also if it's not written in Portuguese, it makes it significantly more difficult for Brazilian players to be able to play it because a lot of them only speak Portuguese. So yeah, interesting stuff that you find out when you start looking into stuff. So,
Yeah.
also, Portuguese sounds closer to Russian than it does to the other Romance languages because it actually has a different cadence that it's spoken in, which is actually more akin to the Slavic languages, and it puts a larger emphasis on the sh sound than the other Romance languages, which is also a sound that is used a lot in Slavic languages. Weird stuff that I found out because I could never understand why I can identify Spanish, French, and Italian super easy, but Portuguese always sounds like Russian to me. It's because it actually is spoken more similarly in cadence to Russian than it is to the Romance languages. It still uses the same syntax and everything of the Romance languages, but anyway, other announcement stuff going on. Elias, what is our update for Metroid Prime 4?
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is releasing in 2025 for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2.
All right. Still good to hear. We had another announcement specifically about Zelda. The Zelda feature film has been delayed a week.
Oh no.
Yes, a week.
Anyway.
2 years from now. So I'm not. That was one of the things that I'm like, really? You're gonna? I can understand. But production has barely started on it, so I don't know why they're like, well, we need to tell you that we are going to delay it on a week. I don't know why they're German, but
Crying, screaming, throwing up.
so yes, for those of you that had already bought tickets in 2027 to see the Zelda movie, which you can't actually do, but it's the internet, someone will figure out how, you're going to have to wait an additional week. And possibly more because it's still 2 years away.
In fairness, I know people who pre-ordered Metroid Prime for like 5 years ago. Because Best Buy took pre-orders 5 years ago. So
what was it like
it's
pre-ordering
possible.
it 5 years ago, Elias?
I have not pre-ordered it yet.
For once, it's actually not Elias. It's one of my old friends from Best Buy. I'm
Anyway.
pretty sure she had it pre-ordered.
So, any other announcements? I saw something pretty cool on Instagram. There's an author that I follow. She's super, super cool. And she just did this super cool unboxing thing. Talk about her new book. And we're all super excited. Go buy pre-order Kiri's new book.
Oh, it's Kiri?
Which is Guide. Yeah.
I was about to say, oh, who is it? Oh, it's Kiri.
Kiri had cool Instagram. Follow Kiri's Instagram, to be blunt. She has really cool, awesome stuff on there all the time. And cats every so often, which is fun. But
And if you're going out today, please be safe.
Yes,
yes,
please be safe.
please be safe, everyone.
I have also posted a cat on my Instagram before.
Yes, Elias has cool Instagram stuff too. When you went to Japan, you had lots of cool stuff. Like, he was posting stuff constantly.
Yeah,
It was super cool.
the cat may have been in those photos. I can't remember.
He also has a real cute pupper. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that does it for announcements. So I think it's time for us to return to Tears of the Realms. The party has angered someone. After resting,
Only one person?
Pretty much.
after getting a good night's sleep, Aino awoken to find Eki was not where she expected him to be. After following his footprints outside, she discovered that Eki has decided he has a new job to do. He found a troop that was feeling rather low and was helping him to feel less so. I know took down some notes about a missing family member, hopefully to be able to help find that. Mado, on the other hand, awoke to someone coming to his door to tell him that he had a meet. He had a guest. And as he went out, he found his old friend Serge, who now works for the company Chic, who is able to give him some more information on this new Arms Up company and the fact that its founder and lead salesman seems to have not existed more than a few months ago. After getting a special gift from Serge, Mado went with the rest of the party to eat and then to go to a meeting where the captain of the guards was forced to apologize for his crass behavior, and the apology turned into a bit of an argument that he stormed out of. But Kess was eventually able to request that the party investigate what's going on in the Gerudo Desert, as all communication with the Gerudo people has gone silent recently. And that is where we return. So, excuse me. So I think when we left off last, we were, you guys were going back to do any prep that you need to be before you were going to be teleported near the Gerudo Desert. So is there any specific things that you guys wanted to bring with you? Or did any of you want to switch to a different focus before heading out? Because it takes an hour to do that, so
I think
have
when I
time
had
to do it now.
slept, I had switched to it's a stalker armor
Yeah.
to that one.
I think I'm still in my Hyrulean armor. I haven't made a decision of how I want to do this. So
What do we know about what's going on in Gerudo Zone again?
Basically, you guys have been told that they've communication stopped completely a week or two ago, and they've sent a few envoys out, none of which have come back.
Yeah, okay.
But they were informed that the Gerudos would prefer you guys coming specifically. And that's the last communication that they received. So, Dilly, I know you guys have any specific stuff that you want to prep or want to change to a different focus?
No, not really.
Okay.
Don't think so. Which focus am I in right now? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, you guys meet up again with Kess, and she starts kind of dialing up her proprietary version of Sheikah Slate. And eventually you guys start feeling the familiar experience of teleportation. And suddenly you go from the relatively kind of temperate area that you are in to the desert. The wind itself kind of picks up a little bit, and let's do it this way. The wind is out, picks up a little bit. You can feel sand kind of brushing against you, and the heat itself just feels intense, almost overwhelming. As soon as you guys kind of fully materialize there, it's like you get hit in the face with this hot, dry air. If you open your mouth, you instantly feel it start to kind of dry out, and you guys almost instinctively start looking and feeling around for like a water pouch or something like that. You can see probably about a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road. You can see what used to just be kind of a hut and an opening between two cliffs that led into the Gerudo Desert now looks like a fully functioning checkpoint with a large gate that seems to have been relatively hastily assembled and what seems to be a pretty decent number of guards guarding it. What would y'all like to do?
Sorry, you said this gate was where exactly?
It's basically right where normally, like, you guys are basically in between two cliffs that normally right where they end and they kind of open up into the desert. They've kind of created a gate there that prevents anyone from getting into the Gerudo Desert from in between the two cliffs.
Gerudo guards, other guards.
Just Gerudo.
Well, they did ask for us. So they say. What say you all?
I'm up to just go on in and just talk to them.
Great.
I mean, at least we will get information from guards on some level rather than. I mean, I don't recommend we try to sneak in if we were supposedly asked to come.
Yeah, we're invited guests, kind of. But thank you for
Yeah.
volunteering to do the talking, Maddo.
Wait. No, it shouldn't be me talking.
I know it's gonna give you a slow look of like, really? That's your grand plan? Is have the salesman do the talking?
If anyone's got to sell us on being here,
That's
Well,
an
I was
interesting
just-
Called a
point.
fearless leader, but you will be called one with an interesting idea of how to move forward.
I just, it was a joke. He said, I would like to talk to them. And I was like, oh, you want to talk to them? Great.
No. By all means, Maddo, you're now our peace negotiator.
All right.
Whoa, hold on.
We have every faith and confidence in you in this mission.
Congrats on responsibility you did not want nor ask for.
No one has greater Gerudo Riz than Maddo.
Yes.
Lex, the player trying to remember the whole thing, is going to have a problem with this.
I will say the majority of the shields that you make tend to be more Hylian focused because with the kite shield shape, it's easier to direct, whereas the Gerudo shields are just your standard round shields, and they're significantly more difficult to steer.
Gotcha.
I
Are
don't know
they?
if that means anything to you, but I thought it was
I mean, it's
valuable
good to know for
information.
myself, but like straight up, I forgot like my brain blanked on some of the things that we're here for. And so being like, yeah, you're the mouthpiece, and I'm like, oh god, you're letting the person whose player has ADHD in the morning not remember what's going on to talk is gonna be bad.
Have fun.
We not all have ADHD. What are?
The
how
doctor
close
just
are we
said
to
my
these
brain
guards?
works faster than most people.
How close are we to these guards?
Like I said, they're about a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road. You guys are above them, but there's not a ton of like cover here. You are literally in between two very large cliffs, so the likelihood that they didn't see the large teleportation happening is next to nothing. They don't
Great,
seem
so
to be
they know we're
reacting to
here.
it anywhere.
No matter what. All right. Well, where is? How far is my? I don't have a range on that. That's fun.
What specifically were you wanting to do?
Oh, just I'm so intuitive about the people. I get visions of what they might be thinking, but
Oh,
they're too far in
Trying to
particular.
mind
There's
read the
no, it,
guards.
yeah. I would say
yeah,
mind reading over a mile away, maybe slightly outside of your ability
I'm
right now.
just saying. I was thinking there's no
She
way
sits
too
and
OP.
expands her mind and finds lizards and owls and
Yeah. You're reading a mind is like, this is very interesting. Apparently Gerudos are very, very focused on small bugs and how good they take. Oh, wait a minute, I'm reading the wrong mind.
I'm happy to judge. It's not that far out of my way though, so I might do it anyway.
so walk forward then.
Okay.
Right off the cliff.
Oh well, no, in the crevasse,
Okay.
in the land crack.
Perfect.
So,
Let's do it.
as you guys get closer, you can see that the guards themselves are kind of talking amongst each other, but don't seem to be making any kind of aggressive moves towards you. And eventually, you get to the point where you can have kind of a normal-ish conversation. You're a few hundred feet away, and one of the guards kind of moves forward and goes, "Identify yourself."
Hello?
What she asked you.
They asked to identify
Okay,
ourselves.
did you forget we're from the Tears Court?
No, but I could say,
Hello, we are here on behalf of the Tears
hello!
Court. She
We are
just
here
starts
on
feeding
behalf
him
of the
lines.
Tears Corps!
Suddenly, Ino's nose grows.
It's like not even hiding it,
She
just
finds
like
a bush.
whispering directly.
For a minute, I was like, "What is Pinocchio?" Oh, Cyrano de Bergerac. That makes more sense. I was like,
Oh,
"What is
I was
Pinocchio?"
also thinking Pinocchio, and I was like, we're not
Oh,
lying.
yeah, I was
No one
also
got
thinking
the
Pinocchio.
Well, I'm glad
I-
Kiri got the Cyrano reference.
It took me a moment because when you say nose grows, I'm like,
I am
wait, oh,
aware
wait,
of
no.
Cyrano as a thing. I just have never seen it.
You.
Oh,
The
Ah!
book. Before it was anything else, it was a book. And it's
I
a
know,
decent
but
book.
I've known it more for like the
So-
opera or the play.
I saw the play, and then I saw the movie with Peter Dinklage, and then I memorized all the songs from the movie with Peter Dinklage. Lex
So,
hasn't seen it.
as Mado
Oh.
says that, you see this kind of like ripple go through the groups, and then one of the guards goes through to kind of the other side of the gate and kind of disappears. And the guard that spoke to you first goes, "Approach!"
am I close enough to do a little mind scan?
Sure.
Because
Go ahead.
I'm wary.
I think there is a roll involved in that, so why don't you make me a power roll?
All right. Let me turn to my cheese.
We'll call this a difficulty. Well, I guess my question for you: are you trying? If you're trying to kind of be secretive about it, I'm gonna increase the difficulty by one level.
What do you mean by secret?
Like,
I've
doing
never
it so
had to
that.
be I've never had to be secretive about this before.
All right, difficulty 3. Damn it!
You'd be standing there like squinting at some guard.
It
You're
just
just sitting there
always
going,
looks
"Ha,
like
no,
I'm
no,
taking
no, no,
plot.
no, 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 no."
Right, and then that brings us down. So that means I got a 12. Do I need to bring it?
Difficulty 3 means you needed a 9. So
Okay, thank you. Sorry, my brain is dead. Math is hard. I
that's how it
didn't even need to
goes.
bring it down. Good for me.
The nice thing about the cipher system is you don't have to roll any or add anything to your rolls. You just have to compare it to the difficulty. So slightly less math. So yeah, as you're the first thing that you notice as you're kind of reading the guard's mind is, I guess, how disciplined the mind is. Normally, when you kind of read people's minds, you get kind of stray thoughts going everywhere, and it's like, oh, my left toe itches, and man, I'm thirsty. And in addition to whatever it is they're thinking about, this one in particular. And was there a particular person that you were trying to read their mind?
Um, Preferably the person who was walking away because they were just given an order.
Okay.
And I'm curious what that order was. But
I will
if they're
say,
too far away, then the person who told us to approach, because if they're the thought is if your surface thoughts, like if you're being a very disciplined about it, your surface thoughts are going to be like, okay, apprehend once they get closer,
mhm.
or fool them into think like that kind of thing.
So I'll give you the choice. If you go for the one that was walking away, you're going to get less information because they will leave
Yeah.
your
Okay, I'll go with
AoE
the
first.
like if they're walking fast enough that I can't, then I'll stay with the person who
Okay.
told us to like approach.
So yeah, as you're kind of focusing on it, again, extremely disciplined mind to the point where something seems kind of off about just how disciplined and focused the mind is.
It doesn't seem
But
natural.
the phrase that they kind of keep repeating in their head is uh, just get them to the ruler, deny anyone else in. Get them to the ruler, deny anyone else in. Just repeating that phrase kind of over and over and over.
How far away are we from the gates?
About 100 feet at this point.
Hey, I think something fishy might be going on.
I think that's why we're here. Yeah.
No, no, I mean like more fishy. I
More.
mean, yes, but, like I correct me if I'm wrong, because I only had books. Uh, who rules the Garudos?
As far as I know, it's a chieftain.
Hmm. Hmm. And how much are Garudos like robots?
Like robots? What?
Um,
Hopefully none.
Yeah, that's from what I remember, none.
sorry. Do you think they're robots?
Well, I'm just saying there's something odd and sort of
Okay.
I know is doing the struggle of how much do I want to say? How much do I want to let you know that I am able to know? Um, I
Do I
just
want to tell them I can read their thoughts?
nope, I don't.
I forgot we didn't know that.
Yeah, you don't. Remember, every time you've asked, I'm like, oh, I just get to these visions. I'm having a vision of, just uh, possibly not normal ways of thinking. Just to be on extra guard, and that's all. I mean, we're going to have to go in anyway and
Yeah, I
investigate. I'm
mean,
just
we know
saying,
something's off
don't
here.
don't trust anybody.
That's a good strategy, I think.
And maybe keep it to ourselves that we are very suspicious of them.
Uh, yeah, that's what I do when I'm suspicious of someone.
They're going to absolutely lock the doors behind us and not let us in,
Probably.
or not let anyone in after us.
But I mean, they're
Thankfully,
blocking
nobody
the
else
doors
would.
to an entire desert. Like, we could still get out,
No, 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 no. I know.
I know, you know, I know.
I know more than I'm saying.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. As you guys are having this conversation, suddenly the gates open and you see this cart pulled by the walrus things that I can't remember what they're called.
Sand seals.
Sand seals. There we
Yeah,
go.
sand seals.
And
Ah,
the gate guard turns to Aino and goes, "Are these your retinue, your servants?"
Wait, why am I being asked this?
Also because Ilea had just gotten back and I'd made the decision before, but it was one of you two.
I just got
Oh, because
back,
we're.
heard the line about
Oh.
servants, and just Elias laughing kind of in an evil way.
I mean, you, especially with your
That's
book knowledge,
right.
they're a matriarchal
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
they're almost exclusively female, or
yes
I'm
and
they are
they,
no.
them.
technically.
They, them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how they deal with Dilly.
So,
Because
in
they
short, you
are
made
and
the
they
right
aren't.
choice.
So yeah, you are technically the only female there. So they
As a rise flying or something.
Um, I don't
People
have a
never
green
look
on
up, they don't notice.
my Strategies trying to go. Uh, they yes, they are integral to my person. Uh, this one makes my food. This
Who are you pointing to for the food?
you absolutely.
Perfect. I go, hi, it's mostly fish.
It is almost always fish. It is something I've had to speak to them about quite often. Um,
I still make fish.
And
this
what
one
do
is
I
good. She
do?
point. Stand and look
Certain
pretty.
you need to ask.
My
as you
hands
say
are
that-
like creeping towards my hips, like, and what do I do?
as you say that, the guard kind of just goes, looks him up and down, and kind of gives you a nod of approval, like nice.
And then I point to Maddo and like, and this is my good friend and advisor on cultural customs.
And that gets her to go. Fine.
He's very
You're
loud. Sometimes my accent is hard to understand. Sometimes it is good to have a nice loud mouthpiece.
fine. We have a retinue for you to ride in. You will be taken directly to our new ruler. He has requested your presence.
I know clocks that. Clocks the word new and he
That's the big
and
one.
goes, well, here's the thing. That's the whole thing with Gerudos is men are born very rarely, but they are usually crowned king.
Yeah, but
So
they
it's
haven't
calling them
crowned a male
matriarchal
king
society.
in centuries.
That's the thing. Is like that's the weird thing of like widely matriarchal, but also not.
Yeah, I'm now
Uh,
more suspicious than Kess
so red
is,
flag.
or than Kess said she was.
And I know. I know
Sorry,
too. Kess
I
is
know.
suspicious, but so
Well,
is I know.
I'm definitely more suspicious than Kess.
As we are getting towards the thing, are there any other people around that I can easily just kind of grab a surface thought from to see if it's the same thing repeating?
Sure. Make me another power check, difficulty 2.
Matto is your
Don't
spiritual
think.
advisor.
Cultural.
I really was cultural. He's been everywhere. A 9.
Zariah's spiritual advisor.
And also my way. No.
As you try to get surface thoughts around you, you get literally nothing. And you try multiple times as you're just looking around and as nonchalantly as you possibly can. You're just looking around. You're getting nothing. There are no surface thoughts except for the lead guard that you just keep that kind of mantra repeating over and over. Everyone else just has no surface thoughts. Which again, to your understanding, like you've dealt with some incredibly kind of mentally
Yeah, no, this
disciplined
is not
people.
about discipline. This is there's discipline and then there's whatever the fuck this is, and this is suspicious. This is suspicious. This is suspicious. This is suspicious.
So, bonjour,
No, it's
Sophie. So you guys can see the carriage that they brought for you is really nice. It has more than enough space for all of you. If you decide to get inside it, you can see that it actually has like water and other things in there. The seats are all upholstered in velvet. Like everything about this is kind of dressed to the nines.
And it looks completely Gerudo in terms of aesthetic. There's no foreign influence.
Yes, as far as you can tell.
Is there any technology that seems out of place?
Looking over, you don't see anything that you would kind of classify as quote unquote technology. There are things like there's a pulley system that allows you to close all of the curtains simultaneously with just a single kind of switch on the top. But nothing that would venture to the realm of something that you would like classify as quote unquote technology.
I'm gonna sit next to Adesh, and since I said I keep him around because he looks pretty, uh, going to lean in and just kind of pretend with that, like, I'm just like, I'm gonna look like I'm kind of sort of flirting with you, but really it's gonna just, all right, I'm going to tell you something right now, and you're going to shut the fuck up about it and not make a big deal about it because I am freaking out right now, okay? Okay?
Are
You're
we
gonna say,
flirting
okay.
or?
So I she's like leaning on you, but that's like her voice is very
And that's
not
just
flirty.
very, very mixed. Like he's very confused and taken off guard.
I need you to listen. Stop being stupid, and I need you to listen. Okay, so without any preamble, I have a talent to be able to maybe how do you say hear very surface level thoughts. You know, like my nose is itchy, that kind of thing, or oh shit, I'm trying to remember, like, or in some cases, the name of a god that they're very scared about, that I can then pretend that I have a vision about, so that they will trust us, that kind of thing. Okay, are you following? Are you following? Okay.
I will not. Well, so this stalker armor, like
She,
it's like
she's
full
very
suit.
quiet, but it's
Is Aino
tight-lipped and
just trying to become a god for like all the different peoples?
no,
Just that was one time.
it was just that one time because it helped us.
And maybe now this time.
This
No.
this stalker armor is like full set of armor, like helmet. Like you can't see my reactions, right?
Yeah, unless you have the helmet off.
Right. So I'm just gonna like slowly nod.
Okay,
I
great.
actually
She's
I
looking for any
forgot.
acknowledgement. Okay, I need you to understand. I'm getting nothing, nothing from anybody except that main guard, and that is not normal. That is not. That to me is not. I have very disciplined thought. That is someone is there. I'm wondering if being puppeted or something. And the only thing I heard from guards who we spoke to, only thing I heard was get them to the ruler. Don't let anyone in after. Which is very possible. We are walking into a city of puppets, and I just need somebody else to know that because I don't know what to do with that information. And it is not normal for me to not know what to do with information at that. It is not normal.
I also don't know what to do with all of this information.
Panic displays of affection. That is absolutely what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
look,
Okay.
last time we ran into any kind of hive mind, it was no, it's a Korimala bitch, and I don't like him.
Okay, okay. Have you always been able to do this? Like,
I need you to focus on the problem at hand and not worry about what I know about
no,
you,
no, no,
okay?
no, no. I know. It's just there's only so much we can do and say about the problem at hand until we know more information because we hardly know anything. Just like you said, it's only the absence of things we do know that tells us what we know.
As you guys are having this conversation, the sand seals are mushed, and you guys are now heading on your way towards the lead Gerudo city. That I obviously know what the name of it is, but just in case somebody else doesn't.
Are you talking about
Josh suddenly
Gerudo
worried
Town?
about his
Isn't it just
browser.
Gerudo Town?
Is it Gerudo Town? I kid
Yeah.
you not. My brain has just completely fried this morning.
The
Fair.
Legend of
I
Zelda
have-
is not known for its creative city names.
I don't know. They have Hateno and all these other weird names and Eldon and that.
They
I
also
figured
have
they would've done
Castle
something-
Town,
I mean,
Goron
fair
City.
point. Zora. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
They have a couple of keepers. Lurelin is nice.
So you guys, I guess, Motto, have you ever gone as far as the Gerudo Desert on your expeditions, either as sales or in development?
Probably development for sure. Sales maybe once. I
Okay.
think because this is how we found out that there were the shields of the Gerudo were not specifically designed. They were designed for actual combat and not for surfing, versus the shields that Shields Up makes, which are designed for surfing and technically combat, but they're better as surfing shields than combat shields. That's what we know. I think he's met a couple Gerudo in his travels because some of them are more shield surfers than fighters, and you can technically surf the sand dunes on a sand seal, or like essentially like a water ski kind of situation here. So there is some stuff here, but it's so he has been around, but I don't think it's he's done as much research into this as much as like
Okay.
in other areas.
And then Dilly, has your troop ever been through the Gerudo Desert? Do you guys tend to relegate yourself more towards the Hylian areas?
Which do I want to deal with deserts? And how old am I? I think then at that age. So I think that they went through the desert once when they were very young.
All right.
Yes.
So, Dilly, you would have very little memory of just kind of how things work in the Gerudo Desert. Motto and possibly Adesh, depending on where your travels took you before coming to the Tears Core. You guys might be a little bit more familiar with just kind of how the flow of things go. Like there's an oasis that tends to be where a lot of the male population, since they're generally not allowed in Gerudo Town proper, a lot of that lives in the Gerudo Desert tends to live either in this oasis town or in various other places with oasi, whatever the plural of oasis is.
Oases.
There we go.
I made that up.
And as you guys are coming through, the first thing that you notice is, first of all, you don't go through or really near the oasis town, and the oasis town itself seems significantly more fortified than you've seen it before. It never had walls or anything before, and now it doesn't have like massive walls or anything like that, but there are barriers and other things set up all around this relatively large city that has grown up around this oasis. And the other thing that you notice as you're going through is you just don't see a lot of men there. You still see plenty of Gerudo women and a few Zora, a few Rito, things like that. But normally, again, the majority of the male population lives there. And you're just not really seeing almost any. You see a few every so often, but nowhere near as much as you would kind of expect. Anything you guys want to do, or just keep continuing on?
I don't know what we could do right now.
Neither do I, but I always like to ask that in case my players have something they want to do.
Like to chunk a bomb to no. Is there?
I have Aruna bombs.
Runa says
I
hi.
think we all do. Regards from the Goron.
Yeah, let's start a race war.
Um,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
are there any Gerudo guards in the wagon with us?
No. The only Grudo presence that you guys have is the driver. And they are outside the carriage.
I have a surface thought, and then I look to Ino to see if there's a reaction.
Ino's not focused on you right now.
Okay.
Billy is
Adesh
planning their
stops.
fish-based menu.
Adesh stops consciously having a surface thought and just starts naturally having surface thoughts.
And that no.
So as you guys continue on, the trip to Gerudo Town seems relatively uneventful for a while. As you guys look out every so often, you'll see some sand seals that kind of match speed with the carriage that you're in, and then will go away. You know, similar to like dolphins and boats.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to cozy on up to Ino and then be like, are you able to like see the surface thoughts of like animals too? Because like these sand seals might know things, you know?
Ino just slowly looks over at him and squints.
They might,
Like,
you know,
are you
there's
fucking moron right now?
no. Like they might know like differences, like if they had an owner that suddenly changed, like if it's the people themselves or they just swapped owners or something like that. They might know things, you know?
She looks to a key on her shoulder and goes, kind of gives him a look of like, what do you think about this? Can you help me out with this ridiculous suggestion? Um,
And a key just gives you that exact look back of going, he's the one you keep. No, you just get this kind of image in your life of he's here because he looks pretty.
I didn't know what else they would believe. And she says that out loud.
What?
All she says to a key is, I didn't know what else they would believe.
And then I say, what? Out loud?
Um, no, Idesh, I don't believe. I mean, fine. I will try. I will try. She like kind of moves slightly forward. I just saw the thing in chat.
Yeah.
Amazing. So she moves slightly forward to like get a little bit closer to the seals,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "All right, I'm gonna try this. Whatever. Who knows?"
Animals in general don't kind of speak directly in
Yeah.
like complete thoughts, but you do get kind of an emotional thing, not quite as complex as what a key is able to do, but the basic gist of what you're getting from the sand seals kind of following the cart is wee.
Aino just nods very seriously
Oh.
and sits back and
This-
says nothing.
Oh. Uh,
Well, do you want to know the very, very important information I got from that exercise?
based on the way you're saying that, I have doubts about the accuracy of your statement, but sure.
Oh no, this is accurate. Uh, in what I'm about to say, wouldn't they enjoy their job?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad
In
someone
fact,
does.
if I could verbalize it, uh, are you familiar with the term wahoo?
I wouldn't necessarily call that a term, but yes.
All right, now internalize that in your heart. That is what these seals are feeling.
Okay. Well, it looks like that's Other Feeling, so that I guess that tracks.
Oh, does it? Is that?
But you
Are you saying
okay?
that the sand seal does not perhaps have a complex amount of internal world going
Well, I
on?
just it was just an idea. I don't know. Look, this is new information to me, and I'm trying to understand like
No,
what.
no, no. We appreciate experiments. I've never done it, to be fair, so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
As you guys get closer to Gerudo Town, you suddenly start seeing these flashes everywhere. And if you look out of the retinue that you're in and look to the town, you can see that Gerudo Town itself has apparently installed a bunch of lightning rods, for lack of a better term, all over the city, and they are kind of almost constantly being struck by lightning from this kind of perpetual storm, relatively high above the city itself. And you also notice that the town itself has lights everywhere.
I don't recall them having electricity. Do you?
Say, since the Reconstruction, one of the things that the Gerudo kind of focused on after meeting with the Sheikah in the so was kind of starting to develop their own technological system, and due to their chieftain's previous ability to control lightning, they kind of went kind of hyper focused on the idea of using electricity. So that in and of itself, like that, technically Gerudo tech is all electricity based. However, this is new. Like this is not anyone that's been anywhere near Gerudo Town before. This is nothing like Gerudo Town used to be, especially the kind of perpetual storm above them. That was never a Gerudo Town thing.
I know that the Gerudo are into lightning, but this seems like overkill. And as far as I know, they've never been able to control weather.
No, I don't know many people who are commonly able to control weather.
Especially because storms usually need a good amount of water to stay intact, you know? And,
I mean, there is a kind of lightning that is, it's called, how do you say, heat lightning, which works a little bit differently than regular lightning. Um, you did not want to have a meteorological discussion, I apologize.
I
Um,
missed that class in Tier Core School.
oh, no, no, this is from the library.
Right, which I did have a library, not the library.
You went to a tier core school?
No, that was a joke, Dilly. It was basically.
Is there a tier core school?
Not to my knowledge.
What's school like?
Boring.
Interesting.
How dare you?
Jilly is so confused.
Conflicting reports.
I know to her core.
What is school like? Boring. How dare you?
I got boring, interesting, and how dare you. Dilly is very confused.
As you guys get up to the gates, you can
Is
see.
my expertise just a joke to you?
Am I a joke? One of the players for their Daggerheart character, they had to come up with an experience, which is their version of skills, and they're trying to come up with like, well, I want to be kind of a leader. What could we do for like leader, but like an aggressive leader? I said, well, what if your experience was just, did that sound like a suggestion? He's like, that is perfect. That's exactly what I want. Sorry, little anecdote. As you guys come to the city itself, you notice there's a large. There's always been a wall around Gerudo to town. It makes it easier to keep the Vo out, but now there is a more significantly larger and metallic wall that also happens to have a large gate. That as you get close to it, suddenly lightning bolts start striking significantly more often near it, and you watch as the gate slowly rises, and you guys are brought into the town proper. You guys watch as the gate closes behind you, and then your door is opened, and a Gerudo guard with a spear opens the door and kind of like kind of semi bows to you and kind of gestures for you to come out.
Walk
Okay,
on out.
let's go. This is going to be great and not at all scary. Oh, I became Dracula for a minute.
Just a little bit.
Van Gerudo guard.
The Count isn't technically a vampire.
No, but it's still what I think about because he shares
He's also
an
not a
accent
Dracula.
with Dracula.
I know, but I just need to share that in the internal documents for Sesame Street, he is vampire-like. He is not a vampire.
I know a lot
So-
of people who are vampire.
I'm just thinking of the actually episode where there's an entire argument about this.
So you guys, I'm assuming you come out of the carriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So as you guys could come out,
Is there-
you get. Go ahead.
Once we're out and it's like outside and breathing the air, and it's like, do the like anything feel off, like atmosphere vibe wise? You know, it's like
Just a little. It does kind of seem like this is a very different Gerudo town than the last time I was here.
now that we're around people. You know,
When was that exactly?
Mine was 16 years ago.
So
It's very different.
As you're thinking of an answer, you the first thing that you notice, like the town itself feels colder than normal, and there's a really, really strong scent of ozone in the air. But you would assume that has everything to do with the fact that lightning keeps striking the edges
Yeah.
of the city.
let's say 3 years. 3 years ago was the last time I was here.
Let's
As you
exchange in
guys-
3 years.
As you guys could come out, you notice you are now flanked by a total of 4 Gerudo guards, 2 on each side, and they kind of indicate that they're going to kind of escort you up to the palace. You notice the palace itself seems to have been slightly remodeled. There's additions that have been added to it. It's much grander than you remember it, and definitely compared to like the art and things that you would have seen, I know, in the library. Like the palace itself really hasn't changed in thousands of years, and so now there's been kind of massive remodeling done to it. As you guys approach the palace, you are taken through various areas, and eventually you come to what you assume is just outside the throne room, where all of the Gerudo guards kind of stop and step back and just go, "We are not allowed in there."
I know gives a very respectful nod to all 4 of them. All right, let's do this. Just go through.
Okay. As you guys enter, the throne room itself looks somewhat similar to the depictions that you've seen before, I know, in the books. There is a large throne on a dais. It seems higher than you thought it would be. And next to it is another smaller throne that's kind of base level with the ground there. The other thing you notice is that there are guards all along each side, and the throne room itself used to be effectively open air, where you'd have all these arches that would just open up to the desert, and now all of them have windows and like French doors effectively in each of the places where it used to just be open. The other thing that you notice is all the guards in here are male. Collection of Hylians and Sheikah.
Are any of these male guards familiar faces?
With a quick glance, they're all wearing helmets that obscure most of their features.
Relatable.
So, just a quick glance, you don't recognize anyone. As you look at the top, sitting on the smaller throne, is the woman that you recognize as the chieftain of the Gerudo. But sitting on the kind of higher throne, you can see what appears to be a Gerudo male in his kind of mid to late to 20s. He's wearing a cape and is also wearing kind of traditional male Gerudo garb. It's very kind of airy. He has kind of a very flowing shirt. You can see an amulet on his chest that looks somewhat similar to the ones that you guys, the one that you guys watch Adesh wear fairly regularly, which seems strange that he'd be wearing a Sheikah amulet.
Oh, it looks Sheikah?
Well, it looks similar to the one that you wear. So
Yeah,
whatever, it's not like a one-for-one copy, but you can kind of see like a similar influence, like maybe it was designed by the same person or something.
Double check how I got this amulet. I thought I made it.
You did. Which is
I
another reason why-
enchanted it. I don't know if I made the medal.
Well, it's the one that you have, to your understanding, is custom made for you by you.
Yeah.
So the fact that you see something that looks similar to it is another thing that seems very, very bizarre.
Yeah. Okay.
And as he sees you all up there, and he also has various other jewelries, like he has a crown on, he has rings on all of his fingers, he's got earrings
How
on.
many?
Go ahead.
How many guards would you say?
A dozen, 6 on each side.
And how many people are we missing from the tier score?
You were told,
Men specifically.
yeah. You were told that
Which
you were missing.
I got the roster.
You were missing about a dozen.
Huh.
What is the general demeanor and expression of the original chieftain?
She seems pleasant, for lack of a better term. Like she's sitting there, she has her legs crossed, and she's just kind of looking at you. She's not like frowning or anything. She just has kind of a kind of resting, pleasant face.
Doesn't seem robotic.
No, like she doesn't seem like
I would say a resting
Stepford.
pleasant face for a Gerudo chieftain does seem odd.
Well,
different chieftain have acted in different ways. This one in particular, I don't think you guys have had too many interactions with her, but her reputation has been she's stern but relatively welcoming. Like, she's never been known to have like resting bitch face or anything like that, but she does take tradition very seriously. Let's put it that way. As you all are kind of moving forward, eventually the ruler kind of grins and stands up. Hello! It seems that we have finally gotten the response that we wanted. Let me introduce myself. I am Aganeru. I am the true ruler of the Gerudo. To whom am I speaking?
Didn't you invite us here?
Of course, but it's always polite to introduce yourself when you are meeting royalty.
Oh. No, don't be a smartass, I know.
Zariah is somewhere in a corner seething.
All of Zariah's feathers turn red as she is biting her tongue.
This is
Well,
do you want to keep doing the
So
talking?
I'm the chef.
Oh, yeah.
I make the meals.
I'm Mado. I'm part of this crew. I'm usually someone. I work in shield surfing. I'm part of Shields Up.
We are a
Yes.
special group from the Tears Corps.
Yeah, we're part of. We're that.
Do
I
you
was-
like fish?
I was very upset to hear of what has befallen Shields Up.
Yeah, it's it's what happened. It's what it is. We got most of the important stuff out, and everyone's okay, which is good. It's gonna take a little bit to rebuild, but hey, we've got most of the big stuff that we needed. So,
Well,
well,
that's good to hear.
yeah, we'll rebuild. That should be okay.
With the changes that I am enacting here, we might be in need of some of your services. We've recently been approached by Arms Up, but there's just something about him that seems off.
Oh, wait, about Arms Up?
Yes, it's a new business.
Yes, I
My
have been
intelligence
very
has
aware.
told me that they've had contact with you relatively recently.
Yes.
They contacted us before they contacted you, and it's just
How long ago, if you don't mind me asking?
maybe about a month or so.
Okay, that tracks.
No, I tell a lie. It was maybe about 3 weeks, barely.
Still tracks.
Well, and who are your companions? We can
Oh, what are my
discuss
minutes?
your.
I'll let them introduce themselves. But I'm Mado. Nice to meet you. Would love to continue this conversation, but motions to Aino.
Yes, the one that my people have decided is the leader of this group. And who might you be?
Who? Me?
My name is Aino. I am
oh.
here on behalf of the Tears Corps.
You know, what is fascinating about you is my intelligence has learned nothing about you aside from that lovely little fox. It seems to follow you everywhere you go. It's almost like you didn't exist more than, what, a year ago?
You know what's kind of funny? One might say the same thing about you, sir. Do you think
Well-
something we have in common yet? That we are so mysteriously seem to become from out of nowhere.
I do understand my rise to power has been rather sudden. There were, let's just say, worries. If you look into our history, the male-born Gerudo do not have the greatest history amongst the other kingdoms. It's one of the reasons I decided to go against staying with my traditional name and have chosen Aganeru instead.
Might I ask where the lovely name of Aganeru comes from?
From various places in history, it is supposed to connect me with the history of our people as well as the history of the goddesses themselves.
Does this name sound familiar to me at all?
Well, Nehru is
Okay.
the name of one of the goddesses. Aga, if you really go back through kind of the history, the only kind of name that really comes up similar to that, Aghanim, was the name of a wizard that was basically used as a puppet by Ganon during the Dark World crisis after the
Okay.
imprisoning war.
I am afraid, unfortunately, because we did not know that you would be here, Your Grace. Uh, I have very little to offer as a gift of our appreciation, but if you would permit me to approach, and she pulls out one of the beautiful little tears from her pocket
Okay.
and goes, "It is a silly little trinket, but it is so symbolic of what the work we are doing in trying to help Hyrule, that it would be my honor to be able to gift such a thing to you.
Okay. And what tiers specifically are you deciding to give him?
Do I have to tell you?
For the kids at home.
And for the GM that can't remember what tiers I've given you.
He gave me a curse bringer that says specifically given to an individual who does not realize its significance. The next time the victim attempts an important task when the cipher is in their possession, the task is hindered by 3 steps.
Wow. Okay.
So, given that, I'm assuming unless they have the proper technology, they are not able to see
Yeah.
what it is or its significance. It just
Magic is
looks like
one
a pretty
thing, but
little thing
tier
that we
magic is a
found.
different thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I'm just gonna do it this way. Choose even or odd.
You're messing
Always
with
an odd
GM's
girl.
plans.
Yeah. Odd is what you want.
Yeah, I'm always an odd girl.
All right. So as you kind of present it, he looks at it and goes, "Well, that's certainly something impressive. I've had a few of my scholars attempting to decipher what these things are. We know that you refer to them as tears, but
Oh, you
as
found some then.
well, we have investigated certain places where they have appeared and are no longer there. I'll put it that way. This
Oh,
is
well then perhaps it was. I apologize. Perhaps this is too common in poultry for you.
no.
I
I'm absolutely thrilled. And you watch as he kind of comes down and he actually extends his hand towards you to accept the gift. I would be absolutely honored to accept your gift. And you watch
I
as
mean,
all of the guards, as stoic as they are, all seem to kind of tense as he gets close to you guys.
Bead of sweat.
And so he's just sitting there with his hand out.
I think this is a good one. A keys for good luck.
And he kind of nuzzles it and licks it.
And then just drops it.
And he looks at it and he kind of, I must say, this is one of the most extraordinary things I have ever been presented with. I shall keep it close to remember the friendship that we hopefully are about to create here.
That would be nice. Um, we do have. We are hoping that you could help answer a question for us. Our Quetzal, the head of the Tears Corps, has been very concerned because w- we sent we sent a few people to come. I believe there was a request of some sort of aid, and those messengers have not returned or sent back any sort of message.
Yes,
And
yes.
we were very concerned for them.
I
Is everything all right?
apologize. I apologize for the subterfuge. With the current changes on how we are dealing with our diplomatic relations, it has caused some issues, and unfortunately, for the previous messengers that have been sent, they were less than willing to take our answers final. So we were unfortunately forced to apprehend them. They are here. They are unharmed. We just felt that perhaps bringing someone in who might be more understanding of other cultures would prevent any further incidents.
Oh, I am very sorry. May I inquire how they offended you so? Because it would be very important to bring that information back and make sure it does not happen again.
According to my border guards, when they were denied entry, they became rather indignant, is the phrase that was used specifically. And there was a struggle. As much as your guards are very well trained, I must say they pale in comparison to the strength of my Gerudo guards.
Well,
I
that is
take
absolutely not up for dispute, my lord. Gerudo expertise with the fighting is legendary. Stuff of stories.
so they
Flatter,
captured
flatter,
them.
flatter, 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 flatter.
They captured them and decided it was best if we waited again until cooler heads might prevail. But I have yet to be introduced to other companions. Who is?
Oh, I am so sorry. Oh, I apologize. I get very excited at meeting new people, and sometimes I forget my manners. You are just so magnanimous that I was a little taken back. I'm so sorry. Adesh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes.
I am the eye candy, apparently. Adesh.
Well, I find it fascinating that you have this rather impressive-looking armor. We've encountered a few people wearing this armor that have been less polite. Unfortunately for us, the armor didn't survive the encounters we had with them. But I would love to actually be able to look into the eyes of one of my new friends. If you would be kind
Only
enough
one
to
of us?
remove your helmet.
Oh, it's because his eyes are obscured. It is
Yeah, I've got a helmet on.
just considered a little impolite.
I guess that's true. They can't really see that I am eye candy. They can't see, like, the meat of the candy, you know? That made sense, right? Anyway.
Sure.
Experience with candy. The meat.
It's like a Tootsie, or it's like a...
Candied
it's a-
bacon.
It's a...
Ooh.
The,
Never had candied bacon?
The
It's
pop with
lovely.
the... Anyway. Okay. And I'll take the helmet off.
And I guess make a wisdom check. Adesh.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Go ahead and make a wisdom check. We'll call this difficulty 4.
4.
Also, both you and I know we'll be getting teardrops from in a little bit, but I have to open up a thing to roll on it and come up with a good time to give it to you. So,
Oh, I get a courage boost with the stock armor. I was like, why is that high? Okay. All right, wisdom. Yeah, all right. 18.
18. Okay. So, as you take off the helmet and you look at him, you notice as you've watched him kind of interact with everyone thus far, and as you take the helmet off and he looks at you, you see just for the tiniest moment the expression slip, and you see this tiny little grin appear at the corner of his mouth for a moment, and for whatever reason, as he looks at you, you instantly feel strange, like he's looking through you.
Okay.
Well, I guess you are the candy. And who is our last guest here? And he turns to Billy.
Okay.
No, Dilly introduced herself first.
Oh,
Yeah,
You-
Billy said, "Hey, I'm
Zariah
the chef."
hasn't introduced
Did the
herself.
word
Oh, yeah.
dilly come out of my mouth? No. But the word chef did, and did you like fish?
Yes, chef.
that's the GM forgetting how things work. And then Zariah introduces herself in a very Zariah-like fashion. Well, moving forward, we can have a wonderful relationship with the Tears Core. Your new, I guess he calls himself Captain of your Guards. He seems to be rather sure of himself, let's say, and not very open to the idea of change.
Yep.
I'm hoping you, as representatives of the Tears Core, are much more open to those ideas.
Well, we only have so much influence, but we do have some.
I
Wonderful.
don't suppose you would be willing to release your messengers in custody.
Oh, any of them that wish to leave are more than welcome to now that you are all here, as long as you are willing to vouch for their actions as they leave.
Can we see them?
I would prefer to speak to them too before I am willing to vouch for people that I don't know.
Absolutely. I'm more referencing the fact that you agree that you will do what is necessary to prevent them from causing any more mischief as they leave.
We should be
I
able
am
to do that once.
very concerned that they have caused you so much mischief this far. What further mischief do you think that they might be doing?
Well, they kind of scuffle.
Very
with the
important
guards.
we let our people back at the Tears Core know, because
Well,
if they
why
are going to
don't...
represent us, they should be doing it, how does one say, diplomatically.
Absolutely. I'm glad to see that we both agree on this. I think it would be easiest for everyone if you just had a conversation with them yourselves. I am learning most of what happened through third parties anyway, so hearing it directly from the Sand Seal's mouth, as they say. Guards, would you escort? Would all of you prefer to meet with them, or would some of you prefer to stay? I can have refreshments brought in.
Can I do a brief of the room?
Sure. Are you trying to actually like read thoughts?
Just more energy of like still the same skill set, but I'm not so focused on thoughts as I am.
So I
Intent.
guess the question I have would, if we were playing D&D, would this be closer to like an insight check to kind of gauge?
No,
how
this is
people are? Are you
absolutely
trying to
using my
absolutely-
ability.
Okay.
I'm just not trying specifically to get thoughts.
Yep. Makes
It's-
sense.
Is there anything here other than this one guy?
So as you kind of open your mind up, the first thing that you notice is something is wrong. You can't
Well,
seem
that was-
to use the ability. And as you do, as you try to kind of open your mind, Aganeru goes, "There's no need to do that. I have commanded all of my guards to be completely honest with you. So use of abilities like that are not necessary."
Well, that's freaking creepy.
Ability?
Forgive me, sir. Habit.
Oh, I understand completely. I have been in similar situations on accident.
Does that mean I don't get anything off of my companions either?
No, you can read them,
Okay,
but
so it's
Do you
just-
try?
Billy
Yes,
finds this
I
guy
was
very
scanning the room.
suspicious.
I was scanning the room to honestly see if anybody had anything.
effectively, it feels like it's being blocked when you attempt to use it on any of the guards or him or the chieftain. If you attempted that, it actively feels like there's a wall or something that you can't penetrate. But if you kind of casually look back to your friends, that wall does not seem to be present around them.
You can
Does that make
sense
sense?
Dilly finds the chieftain very, very suspicious.
The
Brilliant.
surface
What's going on in
vibe.
Meadow's surface thoughts?
Yeah, that tracks.
Well, would you all like to go meet with your fellow guards?
For the record, my surface vibe was oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Good, good, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
I mean, should we
Darius
all
was something probably extremely
just a lot of expletives.
naughty and haughty.
Zariah, for some odd reason, has kind of broken him down by body part and exactly where she would need to apply the most amount of, the least amount of pressure due to the most amount of pain.
Love it.
She's your mother's daughter. Should we all go together? Do you think?
I think it would be best, actually,
Sure.
because you all have good, important things, and I am, very concerned that they were this. No. Let's go.
We'll hopefully be able to
And
vouch
just
for
sort
him
of
once we meet
got
with
that
them.
look
Yeah.
of like, this is not okay with me.
So, two of the guards escort you guys through various parts of the palace until you get to the absolute lowest part. The air down here is significantly colder. It's actually a little bit humid because you guys are pretty far below the desert at this point. And eventually you can hear the sound of metal clanging on metal. And a door is open and you can see the guards are wielding weapons and they seem to be fighting. And as soon as the door is open, they all kind of stop and just look.
At this point, are there normal women guards around, or is it all still male?
The only two guards that you guys have seen in the palace have been these two male guards.
Okay.
The guards open the door and they go, "You're men." And then they kind of step back and wait for you guys to enter.
I enter.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you guys follow, you hear the door kind of shut behind you. You don't hear a locking mechanism or anything like that get enacted. And you can see all of the Tears Corps guards all have weapons, and they seem to be in the middle of like sparring, for lack of a better term. And they see you, and they kind of start putting, sheathing weapons. Oh, hi. When did you guys get
What
here?
is going on?
Well, we've been here for a little while. We want to make sure that we're in top condition.
I thought
Condition
messengers
for
were
what?
sent, not necessarily soldiers.
Tomato, tomato.
Normally they wouldn't be. However, the captain of the guard decided to send actual guards.
How did
Condition
you
for
get down here?
what? Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Makes sense that we'd ask two questions at the same time.
That's right. I just said, oh, sorry. You
No,
go.
it's
go.
fine. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
No, you
It's
think
fine.
things through. It's fine. Your question's probably more.
Oh my gosh. Conditions for what? She just repeats his question.
Well, I mean, we were 100% wrong when we came here. We were rude, we were inconsiderate, and they've just been so inviting. As much as we all believe in what the Tears Corps is doing, we've been invited to join the Palace Guard. And I mean, how can you turn down an invite like something like that? Like, that's really amazing.
And do a mind scan again.
This one seems easier than you would expect it to be, and you just keep going. You just keep hearing this kind of mantra. It's so wonderful here. They're so nice. It's so wonderful here. They're so nice.
All right, some sort of mind control is going on right now. This is like an under the breath comment to whoever is on either side of me.
I am reading at the moment, but I'm about to take an action.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to use my amulet
Okay.
and try to reverse influence the guard, the soldier that we're talking to.
Okay. Why don't you make me a power check? I'm going to call this a
Am I
difficulty.
able to? Are you
Go
going to
ahead.
let us know what you're doing?
I'm not particularly well. Are there any like were the guards that were here, the guards that escorted us still here?
They're on the other side of the door. They closed the door behind you guys.
It's
so
a
you're
solid
alone
door.
with these.
Okay, we're alone. Okay. Yeah, I'm not particularly being sneaky about this then.
Okay. Is there any way I can assist you with what I know with my mind
Um,
reading, basically?
with this, like your ability to mind read is kind of a different thing. Like
Yeah. Okay.
what he seems to be doing is purely magic based. You have a lot of understanding of magic and how it works in a
Are you
theoretical
saying
sense.
are you saying my mind reading is not magic?
It's
Unclear.
powered from a different source. Let's put it that way.
I just was like, if
Let's
it's
go
not, it's not
psionics
magic.
versus arcane magic.
Okay.
So, as far as helping him to cast the spell better, I would have a hard time saying that that would work. Yeah. So, unfortunately, in that example, I would not allow you to act as an asset. But it's going to be a difficulty 6.
See. Okay. Do I have rerolls before I roll this? The answer is. Where are my rerolls? Oh, there we go. I have no rerolls. I do have effort tokens. Okay. Effort tokens remind me are free effort up to the effort
Yep.
cap. All right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still have your effort limit, but you don't have to spend points.
I'll use 2 of my effort tokens and
Okay.
1 of my normal effort, so that I'm only losing 2 points.
Okay. You have a maximum effort of 3 now.
Yeah, because we had
Oh,
advanced,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, that brings it from a 6 to a 3. Real quick from Imp, take a reroll token.
Sick. I'm not going to write it down because I
Oh,
might
shoot,
be about to
that's
use
right. I
it.
need to advance.
Okay.
No, we're good. 14.
14. Okay. So as you start kind of manifesting your magic through your amulet, the first thing that you notice, and you've never experienced this before.
But I was anticipating something like this, something weird.
Yeah. There have been a few instances when you were in your travels and things like that where you've tried to influence someone that you've already influenced before, and the magic doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to when there's already something there. This is kind of similar to that, but because it's not your own spell that's influencing them, it reacts very differently to your magic. And so as you kind of get, again, hit by this effectively wall, you have to put a considerable amount of effort into your magic to be able to break through it. And something that you find really strange is instead of being able to actually influence them, what it does is it just completely ends any influence on them.
Breaks the wall. Yeah.
And so your spell technically, quote unquote, fails because you can't influence them.
Well,
but
yeah.
the influence that they were under also fails. And you watch as he kind of blinks for a second, and he kind of looks at you.
So you were just
What-
telling us about how excited you were to join the Gerudo Guard with your friend here.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea. I don't know why. And then another guard comes up. No, it was like they're really, really amazing here. It's like, no, I get that. And if it's all the same to you guys, I think I just want to go home. That doesn't make any sense. They're wonderful, and they're offering you a chance that you can't have any other way. I mean,
Okay, fine. I'll do it to the other guy.
Well, there's a grand total of 12 of them.
Oh, I thought there was just 2. Never mind.
No, there's a grand total of 12 of them. You've
Sorry.
released one of them.
I thought there was just 2 sparring or something.
No,
You just
all
need to
12
knock
of
them
them
out.
are in here.
I know reaches for this. I understand. You miss your family, yes?
And he instantly kind of picks up on what you're doing. Yeah, my sister. She wasn't doing great. Like, that's why I joined the Tears Corps. And he's kind of looking for, like, reassurance. That's why I
Yes.
joined the Tears Corps.
Absolutely. So that your family would be safe. Because while it is wonderful here, your families are not here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad, and he kind of turns to everyone else. I'm glad you guys are so happy here. I need to be there for my sister.
She's not feeling well, but the research that the Tears Corps is doing is great for her.
Yeah. And you can see, like, all of them seem really, really upset about this, but they also seem, like, unable to act on that feeling. So
That's
it's
good.
kind of in this weird...
Can I possibly just quickly like peek through, or at least remember back through the dossiers that we were given?
Mhm.
Do I recall anybody else who might have had specifically family or someone important back at the Tears Corps? Like,
The dossiers were not super specific on, like, relationships and the things like that. Like, really quickly going through your head, you can remember as you were kind of going through them, Lottie had just kind of passed by and mentioned one of them, going, "Oh, he's such a good boy. Always comes over and says thank you and please every time he gets his meal. I heard that he was dating one of the girls in research and development. They make such a cute couple."
okay, I'm gonna just run with
The
that
best
and be like,
dossier.
oh, and I know
Yeah, Lottie is the best dossier.
I know one of you was really kind of starting to get into something sort of serious with I can't remember her name. She works in research and development, and she's purposefully trying to give only hints of things to try and grab on that little bit of memory
And
because
you
she's
see-
like, okay, the mind forgets, the heart does not.
And you see a guy in the back kind of perk up when he says research and development. And he goes, "Lizel?"
Lizel, yes, I will give, I will go make sure when we get back that Lizel knows that, you're much happier here and you're fine never seeing her again.
Take that, magic.
Make me a power check.
I love that
difficulty
this is literally
3.
her going on like, okay, I've read stories. Let's try the fairy tale way out. power
Give me a
check?
power check, difficulty 3.
Brilliant. Okay, I will use an effort to bring it down to 2 just in case. Which I didn't need because that's a 16.
Okay. So as you see him going, but I love her. I love it. But I love it here. I love it here.
Yes, and you don't love Liesel at all, and
Stop
she
saying
will
that.
you will be very sad. She will be sad, but you are going to be so much happier here without Liesel. She keeps using the
And
name
you're
over and
watching him
over and
have this
over and
like
over.
crisis of faith in front of you. He's like, but I love her here. I here her. And you watch, and you actually feel something in the room kind of break. And you watch him just hit the ground, and then you see this kind of existential dread in his eyes. We have to leave. We have to leave now. And everyone else just instantly turns towards him and in one voice goes, that would be a bad idea. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, we do upload all these to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Zelda Universe. Just go to the playlists and you can find the Tears of the Realms playlist, and that's where everything is. We upload them unlisted so we don't flood people's inboxes with lots of stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's going to be all for us today, and we will see you guys in the next time. All right, bye bye.